Hello, everybody. Welcome to Tidus Talk, episode 25, with special guest Ollybits. Olly, how are you doing today?
Doing really well. How are you today? Good afternoon for you.
Yes, afternoon and good morning to you. I'm doing well, thanks. Girls are napping, so we're good for now. Uh, yeah, for now. It's definitely just for now. There's no questions. The older one doesn't like to sleep right now, so. But
Oh,
anyway, thank you everybody for being here. If you haven't been here before, this is Titus Talk, an interview podcast series where I take other content creators, such as the wonderful Ollybits, and we get to know them a little better, learn about their channel, about themselves, and then we just talk about gaming stuff. Uh, so I like to start with how I was introduced to you. However, it's been so long. It was two.
oh
It
my
was more than 2 years
God.
ago, and I'm gonna have to
Yes.
say it was probably Shiny. Shiny Deminix was probably the one who introduced me to you. He's
I
always
feel like I met Shiny through you though.
really
Yes, like your whole Shiny, Taff, all the
right.
group right there. I've met through you. I feel like you're
So
the
then, where
person.
did I get to you though?
I feel like we met through Phantom Max long time
Oh,
ago.
that's
It's been a
probably that
lot
is
of
probably the case.
people.
I forget because he's on YouTube now, so I sometimes I forget I forget about him, but that is probably the case. Yes, I forgot you were part of you were in Phantom Max's stuff back in the day.
Yeah, it was a long time ago though.
It was. But I do like to also say what I like about your channel. So for those who haven't seen Ollie, she's a wonderful individual. First of all, she doesn't take crap from anybody, which is nice. But that doesn't mean she's not kind. She's very kind and generous. She loves her community. Her art is fantastic, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that later. Uh, and for anybody else who doesn't know you, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Hi guys, my name's Ollybits. I'm very horrible at introducing myself. I generally don't really like talking about myself, so when Tidus was like, "Hey, what do you want to talk about?" I'm like, um, not me. But I generally don't really like the spotlight, but I am a Twitch artist. My biggest accomplishment actually, if you look in your global emotes, there is an emote called NRG Energy. That's actually made by me. I won GlitchCon November 14th, so my emote is available for all of you guys to use now. But I am generally a pixel artist painter. I have a bunch of pixel art painted on canvas. And I do a lot of emotes, illustrations, and they're available on Patreon. I have a store as well. Otherwise, I do play video games on my spare time. I do play JRPGs. Right now, I'm playing Yakuza because it's so good. So good. I thought I would never play something like that, but I did grow up with Grand Theft Auto, Pokemon, Fire Emblem, Final Fantasy, a lot of games. Lots and lots of games. But that's a general gist of what I do and who I am.
Thank you. And I actually had questions about your GlitchCon stuff that we'll get to a little bit later.
Yes,
So
of course.
before we move on, again, thank you for joining me today, Ollie. And for anybody here in chat, if there is a raffle open, exclamation point raffle in chat, if you'd like to win a gift sub to Ollie's channel as a thank you for her joining me today. And if you're watching this on YouTube later, check the description below for all the links to all of Ollie's socials and things of that nature.
Apparently, my microphone is coming in and out. I feel like that's a Discord, and let me decrease my sensitivity for a second. It should be okay.
That's weird. I don't hear the issue. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So we have the basic questions. So how long have you been gaming, Allie? Is it your entire life? Was it more later on, like when you started like growing up? Well, how was it?
I feel like the first video game I played was, oh man, like back in the old school Game Boy, the fat one, the one that like for some reason you always lose the back and the batteries fall out.
You gotta
I
use
feel
tape to
like
tape it up.
yes. But I went back from like Super Mario. I played like that tennis game. I played the elevator game. There were so many games, but nostalgically, I feel like my first few games were like 1996 when I played Pokemon and Final Fantasy. It was like way back then. So I've been gaming since then. Had a Game Boy, had a PlayStation. Did not have a Nintendo, unfortunately. Did not have an Xbox, but I definitely revolved my life around PlayStation. Definitely had one.
I like how to note she's saying old as PS1, where I started with the NES, so
Yeah, I'm
calling out my
sorry.
age there.
Well, I mean, the NES was still around my generation, but unfortunately, I didn't have the luxury of playing at SNES or NES. I had to go to a friend's place, but I did recall it existed in my lifetime.
Have you ever gone back to play any of that older stuff?
No, I haven't. I have it. I have that classic NES and SNES. I have to die for it, but I think it's the collector in me that refuses to open it. I'm
Mm.
also a big collector, so I have figurines, not here, but like in my room that's all still in the box. I used to have 6,000, oh no, I'm sorry, not 6,000, 2,000 Funko Pops at one
Oh,
point.
whoa!
Did you ever know that? Yeah, I
No, I
had a
had no
whole wall.
idea.
Yes, I had a giant wall of Funko Pops. They're all gone now.
Oh,
They're all
you got
gone.
rid of all of them?
Yes, I sold all my Funko Pops,
Wow.
but I still have pictures, so there's the memory. Don't get into Funko Pops; it's dangerous.
No, we have a couple lying around, but never not close to 2,000.
Yeah, it was super dangerous. It was mostly Disney though,
Oh,
Disney and animation, lots of Dragon Ball. Ooh.
I can only imagine the rabbit hole of trying to like just collect everything.
Yeah, it's like you always think, oh, hey, I got the collection. Oh, I'm missing one. I might as well do the whole set. And then you end up getting everything because the second wave comes out and you're just like, oh crap, now I have to get like 18 more.
And then you
It's just
get
never
like store specific ones where you have to go to this retailer to get it, or you have to go to E3 to get this special gold one. Or
Oh my God, yeah. And then some of them are, it's the chase of it, if you will. It's not even actually the chased Funko Pop, but it's the chase of finding it and the achievement behind it. Because, for example, I think a Super Shadow Funko Pop that was a E3 exclusive cost about $400, $500. Couldn't get my hands on it though. So.
oof. Spam and Yogurt says some of us had an Atari 2600 for our first system, you youngins. All right. So, what are some of your favorite games and genres of games? What do you tend to play?
Oh man, here's the sad part in the sense because I really like JRPGs. I really like strategic games where you actually have to think in turn-based, where you have to think tactically. So I definitely loved Fire Emblem, Final Fantasy, turn-based games, classics like Xenosaga, Chrono Trigger, all those good stuff. So it's like now that I'm older, all these multiplayer games out, I'm like, I don't want to. So I get all these friends that want to play with me, but I'm like, I don't really want to. I mean, I do play Final Fantasy 14, but a lot of raids I don't do. I do everything else that's solo. But that's generally the genres that I like playing. Yakuza is definitely a off thing for me. Yakuza, Sleeping Dogs, and GTA. There's something about like
Oh,
that kind of
I
lifestyle
jumped
that
into
gets me
Sleeping
hooked.
Dogs pretty hard on PS4.
Oh, Sleeping Dogs is amazing, especially because it's actually my culture. I'm Chinese,
Yeah.
and Sleeping Dogs is based in Hong Kong, so it was very nostalgic to play that game and understand what they're saying. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I can definitely feel you because that's for the most part that's how I am. It's just like single player all the way. I've grown. I still love my JRPGs, but my interests have grown out a little bit from that.
Yeah.
We both tweeted about Final
Too.
Fantasy Tactics the other day.
Oh my God. Like, okay, like seriously, Square Enix, if you ever look into this video, I hope you do. Please give us a tactics game remake, please.
Right?
I
Or
really
like you
want
said,
that.
just put it on Switch. Do a remake there. I'll take a full on sequel.
I'll take it.
The DS ones were, or the Game Boy Advance ones were okay. And I'll even take those and just put a collection out or
Mhm.
something.
Just put a collection. Just do the Lions one, do the advanced one, just the whole thing. I would love that. Thank
Yes,
you.
day one
Take my
purchase
money,
for
please.
me. If you put it on PlayStation, it'll be hundreds of hours for me trying to platinum it. So do it,
Oh
please.
my God, seriously, I agree with that.
What are some of your fondest gaming memories?
Oh man. I can't really pinpoint one specific one, but I think the fondest memories are always the first time you play through a game and you're just riding the waves, not really knowing what to expect. And then it's not the same as replaying it. You feel the nostalgia, but at the same time, it's like nothing beats the first official playthrough. Like when I first finished Final Fantasy 9 and 10, it was just riding the waves. Or when you first finished Kingdom Hearts,
Right.
oh my goodness, I cried. So I cried so bad in Kingdom Hearts 1. Now I don't cry at all because I did not like Kingdom Hearts 3. But that's a side story.
Yeah, I still get a little bit emotional when I hear Simple and Clean.
Oh, me too. I do too.
Uh, so, what are some upcoming games you're looking forward to?
Oh, dang. So definitely Pokemon Snap. Oh my
Yes, we
goodness.
got a release date for
I'm
that the other day,
so
April
excited.
30th, I think.
Yes. Yes. I always said, whenever someone asked me what is a one game I would like a remake, yes, it's Tactics. But I always said it's Pokemon Snap. I love Pokemon Snap so much. I played hours and hours on it. And oh, I had an N64. I did have an N64. But I was like, did I have a Nintendo earlier? Yes, I did. But hi, procrastinator. But I was always wanting to get Pokemon Snap remake, so I'm super hyped about that. Another one would be Story of Seasons. I'm a solo player, but I do like the Harvest Moon style kind of games. Harvest Moon, not Stardew Valley. Harvest Moon came first. Yeah, but those are two games. I feel like 2021 is going to be a huge wave of a lot of games that are about to drop because of the pandemic. A lot of companies weren't able to really, really work hard on those video games that were supposed to come out last year. So I feel like some offices are open now that they can probably start distributing their games. Hopefully not like Cyberpunk. Hopefully not Cyberpunk.
Let's hope not.
Oh,
What games are you currently playing both on and off stream?
on and off. I'm playing Final Fantasy VII Remake off stream right now. I did finish Final Fantasy VII for the first time a few weeks ago, and then
The
so now I'm
original
playing.
Final Fantasy VII, right?
Yes, yes, I never finished it. Because when I got into Final Fantasy, I dove into 9 first, then went to 10, then went to 8, then I went everything else but 7. And I think it was just like trying to be cool and be like, oh, I never played it. I don't know what you're talking about. But eventually I got
Well,
to it and I'm like, okay, I see why this is a good game. Still not my top 3, unfortunately, but yeah, 7 was good. So I'm playing 7 off stream now. Yeah, I think that's the only game I'm playing off stream. Yeah.
and then on stream that's just Yakuza right now.
Yes. Usually I don't really stream often for games. I would say once every 2 weeks. But yes, it's Yakuza right now.
Do you plan on going through the series now that you enjoyed Zero, or
Yes. Yes, I do. I already have them once in a blue moon.
all right? So now we switch to streaming. So how did you go about choosing your Twitch name?
So Ollybits was actually Ollybits wasn't my original name. My original name was Send Milk Tea Please
Oh,
because I was hoping to have like a clever name where people see it and they'll be like, oh, she wants milk tea and actually send it to me. Or kind of revolve my life or my stream around milk tea. It still does. Ollybits originated from Olly being my nickname for a lot of my friends in real life, and then Bits coming from 8-bit pixel art. It was actually created by my friend because I was trying to think of something creative as a business name. So she suggested Ollybits, and I was like, dude, that works out because it's like cute. It kind of stands out in the sense of, oh, this is what she does. It's Ollybits doing pixel art. So that's where Ollybits came from.
cool. So what drew you to streaming?
Um, I've always been curious about it. I've always watched people back in when it was still Justin TV. So way back in like 2007, 2008, I would be watching people streaming and I would find it fun, but I just never pulled the trigger. I always wanted to, but I guess it's like the whole I'm gonna wait, I gotta focus, da 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 da, making up all these excuses, thinking that it's going to fail. Like, but then eventually, after after I graduated school, it took a while, but after I graduated school and then found the dream job and quit the dream job, I decided to go full-time streaming because I was just like, yo, I already got my dream job. I got my degree. The only thing that's remaining is that curiosity of being a streamer and an artist. So I dove into it. So it's one of those kind of like what are those things called when you have like a little list of things that you want to do? Bucket lists.
Bucket list. Gotcha.
Yeah, it became a bucket list, and I've had the greatest time of my life from it. I don't regret it. I just wish I did it sooner. So angry about that.
Well, I'm sure you found the right time. So,
Eh,
oh,
I learned a lot. Let's just say that. By waiting, I learned a lot.
there you go. So, what do you like best about streaming?
I like how we're able to really meet so many different people with so many different backgrounds. Like I have friends, I would say friends all the way in Europe, where they sometimes we proxy gifts to each other. If there's something in Europe that I want, if there's something here in America I want, I send it to them, they send it to me. Like it just opens up a whole new world. Like we're pretty much Aladining up in this. Like we're pretty much opening our doors out to the world, and especially during COVID right now, we're just so isolated that it's a wonderful place to be in because we're able to see the outside world. Knowing what's happening in another country is just, it's freaking amazing. I love it.
What about, is there anything you dislike about streaming?
I mean, it's everyone dislikes the typical thing where it's just like, some people are mean, the trolls are horrible, but I mean, if I could nitpick at something, there isn't. I feel like streaming is one of the most rewarding things I've ever done, and that everything about it is a pro and has been more rewarding than anything that was con. It's hard work, but that's not a negative thing.
Right.
That's how I feel about it, though.
Hey, Alto Girl, how's it going? All right, so how long have you been streaming? Now, I'm curious about this now after the stuff you just talked about.
You know what? I'm gonna look at my LinkedIn for that.
You put it on your LinkedIn?
I didn't put it on my LinkedIn. That's a little weird. But it's just based on when I quit my job. Is what I was
Gotcha.
trying to remember.
so
I'm sorry, I should pull this up.
So you didn't stream until you left your job?
Yes.
Okay.
So once I graduated from school, which took me 8 years to graduate, I found the dream job. I got the job that everyone wished they wanted right now. But then I wasn't happy. So I left. But I started streaming, I think November 2017, and then it wasn't serious. It was a side thing. And then I took it seriously in March 2019. Hi, Phoenix.
All right.
Yeah, been that long.
Yeah, 2000. I was about to say you started a year before I did.
Yeah. Like I took it seriously in 2019 in March. So that's when I started having a schedule and all that stuff.
Who are some of your favorite streamers to watch? Or do you not watch streamers?
I do, but it's just I don't really have particularly favorite streamers, because I feel like a lot of times I watch smaller streamers rather than a giant community that have, I don't know, 1,000 people watching. I'm usually watching people that I know, and it depends on what time I'm on. So, for example, I would watch Gaming Diva. Actually, you know what? That's a better way to answer that is I did get my Twitch recap. The first person was me, apparently. I like having my window up in the back. But the second person I've been watching was Diva Senpai, who's my best friend. And she was like about, I don't know, 400 hours. And then there was Our Furious Gaming, who does a lot of speedruns, who I'm a mod for. And everyone else is just like evenly spread, whoever's available online. I don't really have one particular person that I really like watching all the time.
Gotcha.
Unfortunately.
Well, that's how it is for me. I'm all over the place. I'd be in your channel more, but I think you. What time do you start yours usually?
I stream during work hours, so in the afternoon after lunch until 5. So in normal times, in the West Coast. So from 1 to 5, 6.
So you start at like 4 on the East Coast, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I start at 4. So it's like while everyone is working, I'm working with them. So
Right.
I'm definitely hitting a different demographic when it comes to who I'm streaming for in those hours.
All right. What are your goals or aspirations that you have for your channel?
Um, Dang, you did not have that question in
What?
the
Are
package.
you sure? I'm pretty sure I
Yes,
did.
I don't think so. Um, my goal is to just be successful. I mean, I don't need necessarily fame. Partnership would be great, but I just want to feel like continuously feel like I'm doing something right. Um, Especially like LichCon came and I was front page on the same time in November that it actually made me feel like I'm doing something right in my life. So I just want to continue that good vibe of success. That is my goal more than anything. It's just like continue to grow and be successful. Not necessarily fame. I don't really need fame. People are mean when you're famous.
Yes, we've seen that time and time again, unfortunately.
Mm.
What is some advice that you give to streamers looking to grow their channels?
Do it. Like all those questions that you're contemplating about where you're just like, oh, I don't know if I should. I don't know if I should do this or should I do it this way, that way? You won't know until you do it. So you try, you network, you get out there. Because the problem is a lot of people don't understand is when it comes to streaming, yes, there's your part where you're streaming, you're presenting yourself, you're providing entertainment, but there's also the networking that people seem to misunderstand, that people think that, oh, just because I pop in your stream, say 2 words, it's like it's enough. It's not. You have to create a relationship with other streamers and grow. You have to give a shit about other people. You have to have a conversation with people in chat. People think that you have to go into a streamer and just talk to the streamer. No, talk to the chat. Say hi to everyone. And that's another thing that I noticed, that people, when you go into chat, you only talk to the streamer and you only say hi to some people. You got to say hi to everyone. You got to network. You got to talk to people.
It's a,
And I feel like that is the biggest issue that people lack in streaming and how to grow.
it's a good point. Yeah, because
Yeah.
like you said, a lot of people focus on the streamer, and
Hmm.
it's a community. It's not just a one reaching out to 100. It's 100 interacting with each other. You know, it depend. You know,
Yeah.
numbers changing, of course, but
Yeah, it's yeah, people, I mean, I'm not saying I know how to be a streamer. I'm not saying I know the right things, but that's just like the basic 101. Like you got to network, you got to talk. But you have to network in a sense of you have to be curious about the person. You
right,
have to be interested. You can't just be like having a motive where I want to talk to this person because I know that they have a wonderful following and
right.
I hope they bring everyone over. That is the worst thing you can think of. You have to give a shit.
Yeah, intention
And if you
matters.
start, yeah, exactly. If like you have to have good intentions. You have to just be like, I just want to meet people. I just want to be friends. If they come, they come. They don't, they don't. But why make yourself have this mindset where it's just like, hey, I need to go and meet these people because I want them to come to me. No, 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 no. You go because you want to make friends. So you want to learn. You want to grow. You want to learn what other people are doing and see if that's something that, hey, that's a new trend. Maybe I should do that. But not for selfish reasons, if that makes any sense. I don't know. It
No,
kind of
it
feels like a
completely
role
makes
reversal.
sense. Though you had me feeling bad at first. It's like you don't come into a stream and say 2 words. It's like that's kind of what I do because I'm working all the time. I come in and I say hi, and then I'm gone.
Here's the thing though. You're aware, but at the same time, it's like I know you're busy, and I know that a lot of people are busy. I don't ever expect. It's a saying. It's the saying goes, no one expects everyone to come in and stream. I
Right,
never do, especially because I'm working when everyone's working. When people come in, even for 2 seconds, I get super happy because it's like, dude, you're using your bandwidth on me.
right.
That shit costs money. So yes, like there are people that come in for 2 seconds, but then at the same time, it's like if I know their intentions is not to use me, for
Right.
example, then it's good. It's fine. Like I don't ever feel that about you.
I know, I know.
Ever.
I just thought it was funny when you said it. I was like, that kind of describes me.
I mean, as long as you know as long as you personally know that your intentions are never like that,
Right.
it's fine. And if people start feeling that way about you, then that's either for you guys to discuss whether or not you want to make it clear to them that it's not the case, or you just move on because it's just it is what it is. People are going to assume a lot of things, but as
Right.
long as you know that your intentions are not bad, you're fine.
Absolutely. Well said. So what are some of your interests and hobbies outside of gaming?
Um, Not cleaning. No, I'm kidding. Um, Outside of streaming, I have picked up biking.
Hmm.
Not really, I got more rolls in a bakery right now.
No,
But
come on.
I'm sucking in it. But then I do pick up I do play with Gundams. Not play with Gundams. I build Gundams. I build like right now I'm still working on this War Greymon piece that still has not been done. It's been like a few weeks. Aside from that, watch a lot of anime. Been watching One Piece. I mean, we're in the pandemic. Might as well watch the longest anime next to Detective Conan, right?
Are
Oh,
you?
and Pokemon cards.
Yes, we were talking about that before we started.
Yeah, Pokemon cards.
I got stuff I could lift up, but I won't. And then of course you got your art and stuff, but I don't know if that's an interest or hobby or I mean, it's basically your job now.
It is my job.
So
It is a hobby and passion, and I do digital work and all that stuff. But I feel like I don't know. It is a hobby and then it's my job at the
right,
same time.
but it can be
But I feel
both.
like
So
it could be both. I mean, do what you love and you never have to work a day in your life, so to say. But yeah.
all right, let's switch to the questions I was trying to think of specifically for you. All right,
Oh dear.
favorite Final Fantasy game.
9.
That was
Final Fantasy 9.
that was quick.
I say it all the time to people. People ask, and I'm like, Final Fantasy 9. I love it. It's my favorite.
So you said you're playing the remake right now, right? 7 remake.
Yes.
How are you finding that compared to the original?
So fortunately, 7 is still fresh in my head. I already seen some things like, why are there Dementors flying everywhere? Um, so I am confused. The reason why I played the game first, the old school, is so that I can appreciate the new art. I'm a very artistic person. If you guys
What?
didn't catch that, like I love concept arts and all that stuff. I have art books and everything. I always love looking at concept art, but it's just seeing how much time the developers put into the game since PlayStation 4 was announced. Goodness
Right.
gracious, that was so long ago. I could really appreciate what developers have, like game developers have gone from like this cubic look to all these beautiful graphics. Um, I really like it. I really like it so far. I never get mad about remakes about games. I generally don't get mad about games because I have an understanding of how games should be viewed in the new eyes. Like for example, people don't like Final Fantasy 13, but because they're always constantly comparing it to the previous games, to other games. But it's like if you look at Final Fantasy 13 as it is, it's actually not that bad.
I enjoyed
I mean, it's
13.
linear. I enjoyed 13. I didn't have a problem with it. People hated it. People hated 13. People hated 12. And I was just like, dude, if you just isolate the game and just appreciate for what it is,
Right.
it's not that bad. Like I never tell people don't play the game. No, play it yourself and see how you feel about it. Don't let other people kind of influence you to feel like it's shitty or a great game. Just play it yourself. Kind of like Kingdom Hearts 3. I hated Kingdom Hearts 3. And I'm a big Kingdom Hearts fan. Like my engagement ring is Kingdom Hearts
Oh.
themed, and yeah, it's a Kingdom Hearts themed ring. That's how much I love it. But and I have like 3 keyblades, and but I will never tell people not to play it. I'm like, play it yourself to see how you like it. So that's how I feel about like the whole playing the original and playing the remake and how it feels. I'm still playing it. I just beat the first part where you're going through the sector and like
Okay. So you're still at the
Jesse's
beginning.
thirsty as hell for you and all that
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, I'm still going through it. She's so thirsty.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god. I'm just like, I liked you in the original. Because you didn't talk.
So you said turn based. So what is your feeling on action RPGs? Like, because Final Fantasy VII is more action than it is turn-based.
So, I actually, it's a big adjustment. I remember when I played Kingdom Hearts for the first time,
Hmm.
I did not like it because one, I was just like, Disney characters play just fighting monsters? That's weird. So I found that a little ridiculous. And it was hard to adjust to go action, like a live action play because I'm not that kind of person. And because I'm not that kind of person, I'm horrible in all action games. If you ever watch my gameplay in Yakuza, you'll notice that I never block, which is very unfortunate. I'm just gonna kill you before you kill me. So that's a horrible strategy. So I can never play fighting games either. So having to go from turn-based to action is a huge adjustment, and I still prefer my little happy corner of turn-based, like Octopath or anything. Just let me just take my time.
I completely agree. I miss my turn-based. Uh, I, I,
Hmm.
I've always dreamed that one day there will be one company brave enough to create a game that you get to choose whether or not you want to go action or turn-based. The programming
I
would be
would.
ridiculous,
I was literally thinking that. I'm like, I wish there was a game that allowed me to do one or the other.
and I understand why they don't, but it would be fantastic to have the choice.
The closest one that we had was probably Final Fantasy. I don't think 9 was. No, 9 was not.
No, mine was all.
10. Final Fantasy 10 was the closest one that we had action or turn based.
I think Seven Remake did a good job, to be fair, because you do your action bits and then you get to pause to do your turn-based part.
Definitely.
So I think
Yes.
they did really good with that. I was surprised.
I was really happy with that one. It's just like, I'm just going to pause here and think about whether I could do fire. I really liked Final Fantasy 7, the battle system. Really
Yes,
great.
the limit breaks and the ATB.
Oh,
And,
yeah, it's not bad. I like it.
all right, so let's talk a little bit about art. So, when did you start like doing art stuff? Like, if you was always been interested as a kid doing finger paintings, or was that like you started getting older and like really getting yourself into art?
So I never went to school for art, but I always had a love for creativity. I think it was stemmed from my mom, who was very creative growing up. She did a lot of watercoloring, and she forced me to go to not like actual like academic school, but there was like a private school for art. And she stuck me into so many courses that like I took clay modeling, I took watercoloring, I took cartooning because I was such a bad kid that they were trying to put me in something that would keep me still because I just wanted to play with the other kids. I didn't want to do art. So because of that I was super talkative and the teachers didn't like it. And they were like, okay, you really need to do this art. You know, we're gonna isolate you. So I was like in a little corner doing art. I think I was like 5 when that all started, and uh, I just always appreciate video game art. 'Cause I always thought it was pretty. Um, and then as I grew older, I don't know, it was just on and off. Like sometimes I'll just want to do art, sometimes I don't. It was very like hot and cold. It's like the weather. And eventually I did pixel art for fun on Paint because I always wondered, hey, what would this character look like if it was pixel art in this video game that I'm playing? So that's how it evolved into pixel art. And then I always wanted to go to art school, but because it was so expensive and because you always hear you can't get paid with art, I just stayed away from it. I was more realistic about it. So that's how it started and went. Yeah.
So, pixel art is basically what you do on stream now, right?
On and off. I kind of added on just illustration because I have a Patreon where I have something coming out every month now. So I picked up a Procreate or an iPad and I started creating things outside of pixel art. It's just sometimes it's a good break, you know.
Right.
But pixel art is my main thing. Yeah, I should have put my poster up. Whatever.
Okay, so GlitchCon, the emo, how did that come about?
So in October, Twitch made a tweet saying, "Hey, if you're an artist, why don't you apply for this kind of event that we're having? Um, I did it, but I created like my application was very me in a sense where you know how when you apply for things you're so professional and precise. Here I was like, they were like, tell us about yourself, and I was like, I'm Ollybits. I like milk tea. The only thing I like milk tea is doing art. I was just really like, I don't care. This is not going to be serious. And I was like, I forgot what I said, but I was just like, oh, hey, you know what? Being a streamer might be fun, especially when I can drink boba. Like, I threw that in my application. Boba is milk tea. It's bubble tea, if
Right.
anyone is curious or confused. And it was kind of like a half serious application, and I didn't think that they were gonna pick me, and they did. With out of I don't know how many artists. They told me it was about like 1,000 applications, and they only picked like 10 people
Wow.
for my thing, and 10, no 8 people, and then so they actually reached out, and they were like, "Hey, you want to be part of this event? We can't give you details, but it has something to do with illustration." I'm like, "Oh shit, okay, sure." And then at the same time, they also asked if I wanted to be on front page in November, and I was like, "Okay, sure."
Yeah.
And then so I was kind of on cloud nine for the whole month of November because it just actually made me feel like I succeeded for the first time in my life as an artist streamer. So it was kind of cool. So that's how it came about.
Definitely. I mean, it was cool getting to see you on there. I know I didn't get to jump in the stream for long, but anytime I get to
It's
see
so
somebody
cool.
that I know actually on the front page, it's like, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was insane. It was crazy. I mean,
Is that
definitely
the
didn't have.
emote?
Yeah, that's the emote that I won. It's available for everyone to use online now if you want to use it.
That's very cool.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right. I guess this is more art related and stuff. So what would you recommend, or what kind of equipment and software do you use as an artist that you could talk about with other people?
I use a lot. It really depends on what we're doing. So for pixel art, I actually use my not Cintiq, my Huion giant tablet that's on my right. It's like this big, and I'm small. So it's 22 inches. It's a giant tablet drawing monitor. I just got it, but I use pixel art on there, and then I use Photoshop. And then I don't use a sprite like everyone else, just because I'm so comfortable with Photoshop. Sorry, I need a burp. And illustrations, I started using Procreate on the iPad, which is a wonderful program. I vouch for it. It's so great. Like, there are so many features on there that it's just amazing that this program on the iPad can do so much like a computer that you can use, and you can create beautiful illustrations that helps you get money essentially as an artist. So it's just a wonderful buy now program rather than Photoshop, which is like $10 a month, I think. If you have an iPad, I definitely recommend excuse me, definitely recommend getting Procreate. Illustration wise, if you're on the computer, I definitely recommend Clip Studio Paint. Uh, get a higher tier, get Pro or EX, because the features there make the money. It's worth it because it's a buy now versus a reoccurring monthly fee. Those are my tips for programs.
Gotcha. Any advice for aspiring artists?
Do it. Like I'm a very my saying sometimes is do work. I don't say it often, I really should, but my mentality of a lot of things is do something. Where it's just like, hey, you want to be an artist? Do art. Just do it. This is like if the moment you keep doubting yourself, you're putting more off and all that stuff. And if you have a reason not to do art, you're just creating excuses in a sense of, well, I don't have the programs. Get a piece of paper and pencil. It's not like just do something creative, do something productive towards your creativity. That's my tip for starting artists. It's like just do it. See, like find people that inspire you. Go on Instagram, start following a lot of artists that inspire you, that you want to learn to become, and then start looking up YouTube videos. If you're very serious, start taking Udemy courses, and just like meet other people on art streamers, and that's just educate yourself. Do it. Just do it. I mean, everyone has access to a phone these days, right? Don't you guys have cell phones? Just like that blizzard guy? Like, look online, look at tutorials. Like, YouTube has so much information available for you. Just like, go. Even if you just want to sketch something, draw online, make circles, be creative, do it, do work. So that's my tip for that.
I was going to say, there's too many resources available to anybody with an internet connection to make excuses.
Exactly. And like, I understand some situations are in the way, like maybe you have work, maybe you have children, maybe you just can't, you're tired. I understand. But it's like, even if it's just getting a piece of paper and drawing a stick figure, doing something, or creating your favorite character, you just feel better. That's just the completion of it. It's like, oh, I actually did it. Even if it's just chicken scratch. Let's do it.
So I know that you have a Patreon, and unless you don't want to talk about it, I'm interested in what that's about and what you offer on there and so forth.
So my Patreon, thank you for bringing that up. So my Patreon is where every month I do distribute illustrations and stickers for a cheaper discount. I just recently changed to that. Pretty much you get access to my merchandise early and at a cheaper amount for a monthly kind of support. Like for example, there are little stickers that I made. Like this is the Espeon that I made for last month in January.
Oh, I saw when you were
made
making all the
these as well.
evolutions. That was cute.
Yeah, the evolutions here. This is actually a messed up print, but I made these as well. There's a lot of things that I've made. I mean, have a whole batch of it, but it's just early access, and for a monthly support, you can get these for pretty much free. So yeah, that's really what my Patreon is. It's just to support me and my streaming and my art, and to give thanks. It's like you get all these merchandise back.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right, and then we're going to talk about your store, but that's going to be in the topic section for the podcast, so that'll come up a little bit later. Until then, where can people find you on your various platforms?
My most used program is Discord, which I don't really have information about. If you go to my website, you'll see all the different social medias, but I am on Twitch, obviously. I am on Twitter, Instagram as well. You already had all those socials, so that's perfect. Those are the best places to contact me. Also on my website, if you cannot find them, it's ollybits.com. All of them are actually under Ollybits, so you don't have to worry about, is it Ollybits?
Or underscores
zero?
or...
Yeah, no underscores or anything. They're all Ollybits, so
that's nice.
God, I can do that.
All right, with that, we will move on to
my chair rolled
the topic. So you said you wanted to talk about, okay, you recently, I don't know how recently, but you have a store open, your own store, and you wanted to talk about the process of opening it and things like that. So what did you want to talk about specifically?
So a lot of times it ties with how I'm saying just do it, where a lot of times I see my friends as artists, they're just like, hey, like I want to buy merchandise from my friends because I feel that subs are great to support your fellow artists. However, the best way to support them is to buy their art, share their art, and promote. Well, share and promote, same thing. But it's just, I would really always love to buy art from my friends because I know, like, I just want a piece of them to, like, commemorate their success and all that stuff. And the best way that I'm always trying to do is buying their merchandise. And a lot of times I ask, like, hey, do you have a store? And a lot of them say, no, I want to, but I'm waiting for more merchandise. And I'm just like, dude, what are you doing? Don't wait, just do it. Because there are people like me that are just, holding my wallet, and I'm just like, dude, I'm just waiting. And they wait and they wait, and they're just like, oh, I don't know if I'm ready. And it's just like, dude, just fucking do it. And I feel like a lot of times people have that misconception where they're like, oh, I need to have so many X amount of items in my store in order to create it. That's never the case.
No.
I mean, yeah, it'd be great. Inventory is great. But at the same time, inventory costs. Because if you're going to create so much merchandise and hold on to it, you're going to drop so much money into having inventory and holding inventory. And if you do not sell it fast enough, you're going to be at a negative. You're going to be losing out on money. So what I recommend is always, yes, you have 1 or 2 products, create an Etsy, create a store envy, just have a store. Yo, thank you so much for the sub. I appreciate it. Thank you, A-Rocks.
Yes, thank you for the gift sub, A-Rocks.
I always encourage artists to explore your options for growth. And even as a store, like even as a streamer that wants to create merchandise, even if you want to sell cards or TCGs, it's like, if you want to do it, you got to take that first step. And I think fear of failure stops people. And what I want people to do is just like, just fucking go, just do it. Because if you create 1 or 2 items in your inventory, people buy them and like you sell out, dude, you're profiting. You can use that money to
make more
later. Exactly. You can go and buy more TCGs. You can create more inventory. That is the best way to do it. Not wait until you have 5 designs or 8 booster pack bundles. You drop so much money onto it. What, 8 booster pack bundles? What is that, like $800? And no one buys it? Right. What are you going to do? You're just going to be stuck at negative 800. When you buy 1 and then someone buys it, it's like, oh, there's my profit. I can go and buy something else. So that's where I'm just like, go! Do it, guys! Create your stores.
I feel like Nike needs to like be your promote. Just do it. Just needs to sponsor you at this point for saying just do it so many times.
Go, people.
So I had. So how long has the store been open?
I opened my store November 2019. So that's when I started going to cons, selling, and pandemic hit in March. But I started going to shows. Oh, did my earpiece? I'll fix that later. I started going to shows and selling in November 2019, and it's been a hit. It's been wonderful and profitable and everything. Like, at this point, I've probably broken even for money, so I haven't. It's been good.
That's good. Yeah, I've wondered about con things because I can't imagine booths are cheap. However, the sheer number of people who walk past it, I mean, it's got to be worth it.
Sorry, yeah, can you repeat that? Because I just switched your.
No problem. I was just saying, I was wondering about the cons and stuff like that because I can't imagine a booth is necessarily cheap. That being said, you have the sheer number of people that walk by your booth. I mean, the exposure has to be worth it alone.
Yeah, it's rough. It depends on which cons you go to.
Right.
Like, for example, if you go to a local show, it could be like 100. Like, okay, from my personal experience, a local show here would be $80. If you rent their stuff, would be $100, and it's a weekend, $50 a day. Hey, that's a good deal.
Yes.
That means at $50 a day, I have to sell X amount of merchandise in order to profit. Awesome. That's a good deal. But then if you go to big cons, and I'm talking like San Diego Comic-Con. Oh, hello.
Someone woke up from her nap, and her mommy just like, go say hi to everybody.
Good morning. Hello.
Say hi. She can see you from here, that camera.
Hello.
Say hi, Lily.
Horrible. I like your name.
Huh? You need it? Okay. All right. Go back to bed, okay?
Good night. Remember when you were a baby?
Yeah.
Come on, sweetie. Lily, come on.
All right. Sorry about that.
Lily.
No, you're good. What was I gonna say? San Diego Comic-Con, depending on if you want a corner booth, if you want a side booth, if you want the booth inside the convention, outside the convention, it really depends on positioning and seniority and how much you're going to pay. It can range from $500 to share a small little table to $1,200 to even $3,000. So it really depends. So it's like, those are rough. You always have to think about, okay, if I buy this $3,000 table, how much merchandise do I have to sell in order to start profiting?
Right. Because there's a lot of people, but how much stuff do you have to be able to sell?
Exactly. And then you have to consider the demographics where, okay, if I go here, like where I go local, a lot of them are young kids that just like little small trinkets. They don't have a lot of money. They're cheap. They just want to spend like small here and there stickers and stuff like that. Small prints maybe. They don't want have a lot of room, so they won't buy big prints. Like you have to consider the demographics. Whereas San Diego Comic Con, people have money. People are willing
Oh,
to
yeah.
drop down X amount of dollars. So much money. So you can go all out for San Diego Comic Con. You can even raise your prices accordingly. But you have to think about where you're going. So
So obviously you haven't been able to sell at conventions because conventions being
Nope.
closed so hard. Is there any actually? Do you have any idea of any coming up that, or are you just pretty much on the wait at this point until like
Um, well,
vaccinations and all that fun stuff?
last year I was supposed to be at Cherry Blossom Festival for San Francisco. I still have my spot for this year if it's gonna happen, but I don't know if I'm gonna go because even if everyone is vaccinated or anything, I'm still wary about
Right.
exposure because I live with my in-laws and as well as I visit my mom and they're all pretty senior now. And it's just a precaution that I don't want to risk bringing something home and like vaccines not working.
Completely understand.
So yeah, I still have my spot, but and I was supposed to be at WonderCon as well last year. I don't know if I have that spot anymore. Um, so it's difficult, and I feel like for 2021, I will not be going to shows either. Just it's not worth it in the sense of security.
Absolutely. So on the back end side of the store stuff, I'm just curious because as you, I've started recently a store for Pokemon cards.
Mhm.
How have you found like the business aspect, like taxes and all that fun stuff?
So I wasn't able to really experience that yet because I only had my store for a little bit in 2019,
Right.
which was processed last year for taxes. I didn't really see did I create my store? Yes, I did. Okay, so I created my store, but I didn't really do a lot of it. I did have my taxes papers. But then this year, when I'm processing the 2021, it's going to be a huge wild ride because of all the things that I've been saving to write off. Bought a lot of merchandise here and there's things, created more prints. So I don't know how it's going to be. I'm hoping my tax accountant will be able to nail it because I'm pretty sure he's handled more difficult things. So I can't really answer that, unfortunately, because
No,
I haven't moved yet.
that's fine. I mean, it is going to be something because I mine was at the end of 2020, and when things were like really slow, where there weren't any sales, and so it got to a certain point, it's like, you know what? Just to make things easy, I don't want to do any sales before the end of the year, so I'm at zero for 2020, which I ended up doing. And my first sale was the first day of 2021, so everything's going to be counted for this year. So a lot of my
Oh,
stuff won't hit
lucky.
till next year. So that'll be interesting. Like you said, I got to remember to keep receipts and stuff for write-offs and stuff you never think about otherwise.
Yep, everything, like every little thing that you do, even if you buy pencils, even if you go and have lunch with somebody for business
Right.
or something like that. At this point, even your internet bill could be written off. But, with the pandemic, I feel like tax accounts are having unprecedented things that they're dealing with. So I don't know how difficult it is going to be for them to process a lot of taxes. So definitely, if you have a store, you have your own business, look for a tax accountant or somebody to help you process your business stuff this year. Don't risk it. Don't do TurboTax. Don't. You can do everything on your own. You want to be safe.
No, otherwise Uncle Sam will come after you.
You don't want that. You absolutely do not want that.
So did you do everything with the store yourself on the website? Everything was created by you, or did you have help? Or
Um, I had help because I have a friend at Wix that introduced me to something. So she was my, text message customer service whenever I had an issue. But everything was just myself, where I self-designed, which, I'm not a graphic designer at all, so it's kind of bland.
Bland? Have you seen
Having my
mine?
own store.
Yours looks
I'm
great.
sorry? Oh, thank you. I don't. I was just kind of like, I like these colors. These are my color themes, and I'm just splattered them around everywhere. So I just did that, but mostly it's just myself.
Well, it's very
It's
like
like
I
a
said,
lot.
I like how it looks. So I'm gonna have to
Oh, thank
actually like fully peruse it later.
I was actually looking at your store and I'm like, oh man, I kind of like how this is like very straightforward and simple. I feel like mine is very cluttered now because I noticed that you don't really have a border. Oh, you do. I see it now. I stretched it out. And I was just like, damn, I kind of like it this way. I kind of like how you do it.
Mine is just bare bones, but that's for my sake more than anything else.
It's easier, honestly. If it's bare bones like this, it's easier to handle. Like, I have too much crap. I feel like mine is cluttered now. I'm like, I don't really like it.
Oh, everybody's a little bit more judgmental about their own stuff, so.
Yeah, it's like, oh, my art is trash.
No.
But it's not. And it's like, everyone feels that. Like, oh, my art's not that great. And beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Hi, Charmy.
Yeah, she hears Kiki. Oh, she closed the door on her. Hold on, it'll be just a second. The wife locked the cat in the room, so she can't get out to the food and water. All right.
I want a cat.
We have 3. You can have one.
I want one so bad, but my husband, the family here loves dogs, so.
Oh, I love dogs too, but when I met the wife, she already had a cat, so it's easier to add on cats than to add other animals.
I should have done that before I got married. I should have gotten a cat. And we're like, oh, we're stuck with the cat now.
There you go. And now that we have 1, who says we can't have 12?
Yeah, why not have 18? Like, what's wrong with that?
All right. Yeah. Is there anything else about the story you wanted to talk about?
No. I mean, not off the top of my head. Like, unless people have questions about it, I'm more than happy to answer.
Yeah, absolutely. Ollybits.com for anybody who wants to go check it out and see what she's got.
Yeah, if ever you guys have questions about how to start a store, I'm more than happy to walk you through the process. Of course, I will never provide answers, but I'll guide you through it. Like, I'm never going to be like, this is the best thing you should do. No.
Right. All right. In that case, we will move on to the gaming news. So I've got a list here of things that have been going on. So it'll pretty much be me running down, and if we have anything to talk about it, we'll talk about it.
Okay.
So PS Plus games for the month: Maneater for PS5, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and Greedfall for PS4. I think it's a good selection. A lot of people like Greedfall as an RPG. Tomb Raider I've always enjoyed, and Maneater I was really surprised by.
I'm actually wondering how many times Tomb Raider has been on the PlayStation Plus. Like,
well, I mean, there's 3 different games, so I imagine at this point we probably had all of them. That would be my guess anyway.
A Maneater definitely is a good one to put, like, and the PlayStation 5 version.
Yeah,
Ooh,
it's strictly the PS5 version.
Oh, that's so good. That's wonderful for anyone that does not have any, need more games for PlayStation to play, and you just want to go crazy shark status. It's a wonderful game to play. I highly recommend that if you have a PlayStation Plus membership. Actually, I should have picked up PlayStation Plus last month because Bugsnax was on there.
Bugsnax, that was a good one too. I enjoyed Bugsnax.
I've been watching Diva Senpai playing it, and it looks so fun. It's like Pokemon Snap, essentially.
Yeah, another one that surprised me.
Yeah, that one's a good one. I wish I picked up PlayStation Plus last month. Dang, so bummed out about it.
All right, so then news-wise, we've got some release dates. We talked about a little earlier, April 30th for Pokemon Snap 2.
Yes! Oh, I'm so excited.
How would you feel? I don't think this will be the case, but if they included, like, you beat the game and you unlocked a HD remaster of the first game.
I would go apeshit. It's probably not going to happen, but I will go apeshit. I'm already negatively anticipating people being negative about it, in a sense of people are just going to be like, why is the first one not in here? Why is this Pokemon not here? Why are you not including this? Why is this so short? Because I feel like a lot of people just bitch at Nintendo to bitch. Like, there's no satisfaction, unfortunately.
I think a lot of those people are going to be the people who aren't excited about it now, though, because there are a ton of people who are just like, they can't wait, and I don't think those people will be disappointed necessarily.
I feel like the people that are really looking forward to it are the people that actually played it, where they're like, I feel like this generation would be that's filled with all these action games. They probably think it's like, oh god, another spin-off like this cafe game. Why are you going around taking pictures? Whereas when our generation, it's like, dude, it's Todd Todd is awesome. He takes pictures and he's going around and he's catching this Mew with a ball in his little cart. It's so cool. And that's why I think like everyone that's super hyped about it is the people that played it on PlayStation 64. I mean, wow. And
PlayStation 64.
Or they went to Blockbuster and
Right.
they played the little system thing. I feel like that's the people that are bringing up the hype behind it.
Absolutely. A lot of questions that people are bringing up, or at least the two big ones that I'm hearing, are there going to be like shiny Pokemon? Like,
Ooh. I would not be surprised.
and then the other question would be, is there going to be like possibly an option for a free roam section? Because generally speaking, this is on rails. Everything's kind of preset to what you can do and what your options are. But they could, in theory, just be like, here's a part of the island and you can free roam. Or at least among these certain tracks. Maybe you can choose your direction or something. But
I'm wondering that too, because what I didn't like was it's pre-tracked, and it just sucked because sometimes I wanted to. It just sucks that like I really wish they have a free roam. I feel like they won't do it though.
I have a feeling
There's
they
a lot
won't
of-
either. But it would be like it'd just be something really cool that they could maybe even add down the line.
Yeah. That'd be really cool. Unfortunately, I feel like they won't do it. Because Nintendo being Nintendo.
Yeah.
But I feel like, oh man, like it always bummed me out that you have to. It just slowly keeps going, and then
It's like, I wanna
I'm
stop
like,
and take a
"No,
picture."
I want to go back there. Like I just want to go back there. Let me throw the ball at this Pikachu again. Let me throw the apple.
Well, that's something I didn't think about though. They could always just be like it's on rails, but you have control over the vehicle maybe, and you can stop
But then
and.
there's probably some limitation like film, which is weird because now it's on the phone. Like, how are you going to limit how many
Right.
pictures you can do? I don't know.
Well, I mean,
I don't know.
memory cards only have certain sizes.
Yeah, maybe your SD card and you're taking pictures at like I don't know 4,000 pixels or something like that.
All right, more release dates. We have February 12th for Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. I never got to play Super Mario 3D World, or at least I never did. So
I didn't either. I'm not a platform player, unfortunately, but I heard something about like this Bowser looking really cool. or something.
yeah, Bowser's Fury. They showed off a little trailer because that's a little side game. It's supposed to be real short, but it's a one giant open area where you go through and collect these things, and then you face Bowser, who basically looks like Godzilla, like a Godzilla version of Bowser, and then you grow into a giant cat Mario to fight him.
Wow, really?
Yep.
Okay. I mean, whatever makes the. Wait, is it based on Bowser's Inside Story?
No,
Is
no,
that
no,
what
no,
it-
no. It has nothing to do with Bowser's Inside Story.
Oh, okay. I'm looking forward to seeing what they have with it. I'm not gonna play it. I know some people are super hyped about it, but I'm like, I'm good.
For Resident Evil fans, January 21st is a Resident Evil showcase. They'll have Resident Evil 8 gameplay for the first time, as well as more Resident Evil news. So
The Resident Evil logo is probably the best logo I've ever seen.
which one? You talking about for 8 or just which? The Village?
Village. Yes, it is the best. One of the best I've ever seen in terms of like graphic design. I'm just talking about art perspective. It's just like so creative what they did. They used the village as to put the Roman numeral in.
Well, they did
So
that with
good.
7 too.
It did.
Yeah,
I
because
missed that.
Resident Evil has the IL and the VIL in evil,
Oh, you're
so they did 7.
right.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. I didn't even notice that. I can't do like scary games. I'm like, I get too scared.
Resident Evil is about the only ones that I do, but that's just because I grew up with Resident Evil 1 and 2 and all that.
I used to be able to play it. Like, I played Resident Evil 4 on the GameCube, but I don't know how I did it.
Well,
Now I'm just like, nope,
4 was
nope,
more
nope.
actiony than scary though, so I can understand with that. You go to you skip to 7, and it's like, oh my god, this is like creepy as. So yeah, I can understand
Was this
where
available for VR?
7 was. Yeah,
Ooh, no.
yeah. People said that was the best version, but I never got to play it that way. If you like being scared, that's the way you should play it.
But I think you need a PlayStation 4 VR for that, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but VR works on PS5, so.
I know, but I'm just thinking of perspective of exclusively for PlayStation. kind of VR versus like being able to play it on Steam. That's why.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. We've got a couple of Lucasfilm stuff that happened. There's going to be an Indiana Jones game by Bethesda. So that's going to...
Sorry. I just laughed. I'm sorry because I heard Bethesda. I'm sorry.
Why did that make you laugh?
It's just the record of Bethesda and what people are saying, the reviews, and I'm just like, oh no, I wish them good luck. I hope that people won't be angry.
I definitely think their reputation has fallen to the wayside a little bit lately, but
unfortunately,
people still have their love for them, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, they have their love, so it's like, okay.
Ubisoft and Massive Games are doing an open world Star Wars.
Ooh.
So
I didn't hear about that.
Everybody's like really like, because I forget who Massive Games did. There's like a really good game that they did that everybody was like, oh, they did this, so this is going to be amazing.
Massive Game?
Yeah, Massive Games.
Massive Games. Oh, they're the guys behind Tom Clancy and Far Cry.
Are they? I thought there was another one. There's another game that I was thinking of though, but
Division?
No, it wasn't one of those Tom Clancy type games. It was like a regular game.
Oh, they have an Avatar game? Wait, what Avatar? Never mind. It's the Avatar that we don't talk about.
Okay. But anyway, and all of that is because EA is no longer exclusive, holds the exclusive rights to Star Wars games. So Lucasfilms now has Lucasfilm games that they're going to work with other publishers to release games on. So that should be, I think that's going to be better for the Star Wars franchise overall.
Yeah, definitely. They need to branch off. I agree. I'm excited for them. I'm really excited for what Star Wars, the franchise, is going to expand to.
Yeah, Mandalorian has been great, so...
I haven't watched it, but I heard amazing great things. Like, wow. It was really cool.
Hogwarts Legacy was delayed to 2022. The Mass Effect Remastered Collection, it's not official, but it looks like it'll have a March release. I know.
Is it coming with Andromeda? Or
no.
just the first
my understanding is that no, it would just be the first three. But they've overhauled the first three, or at least especially the first one, like a lot, where it's not just a visual upgrade. So
okay, that's pretty cool. And are they going to have the DLC, the good DLC?
My assumption is that they would, but again, this is kind of like a leak. This isn't official. I tend to believe it because of the places it came from. But let's see. Oh, we missed in the Star Wars stuff, Fallen Order. I didn't get a chance to play it yet, but now I'm actually more excited to, because they just got next gen updates to make them faster and prettier and all that stuff. So now if I play it on PS5, it'll be even better. So
Jesus asked, will it have multiplayer?
Which one are you referring to? We talked about a lot of games. And how's it going, Jesus? The original game allowed you to slow down. I never played the first Mass Effect. I only played the second one, Mass Effect 3. My guess would be no. I don't know for that for sure, but I think they'd strip all the multiplayer out and just focus on the single player stuff.
Yeah, I think they're just going to focus on the gameplay itself. Unless maybe it will come in the future. Maybe. Like kind of how like Ghost of Tsushima had no multiplayer function until a few months after the game release. It might have that.
It could. I think they'll stay away from it altogether because they've already seen what the multiplayer would do with people, and if not enough people like it, there's why worry about it. But
yeah, that makes sense.
We don't have the answers yet. So, in an interesting news, so the Pokemon 25th anniversary is this year. So there was a little video that they had the other day that announced that Katy Perry is doing a collab with them throughout the year to do music with them. That face that you're making, is that not?
I'm just always iffy about like celebrity collaborations like that in general. It's not, no offense to Katy Perry, even though I don't really like her. I think she's okay, but it's just like, oh no, what are you gonna do? It's like a fear.
Yeah, like, well, I don't think it'll affect a lot of things overall, because we don't know what that means. Is it just going to be maybe she does music for the commercials, or maybe, we really don't know. So
Yeah,
it was
we
just
don't
interesting
know,
news.
and I can imagine it can go really bad or really, really well. That's the problem.
We'll
Like
hope
for
for the latter,
example,
but
yeah, I'm hoping for the best, if anything. But you know how, people are horrible. They'll just go and downvote it just for the sake of you're ruining it something, or
right.
fan bases are weird. Fan bases are really weird.
Let's see. We won't talk about Cyberpunk.
I never played it, so I can't hate on it.
No, I can't hate on it either. It's gotten a lot of flack. The big news from that was that Sony actually removed it from the store like a week or so
Yeah.
afterwards. Just because. Oh,
Yeah.
come here. Baby number 2.
Hi.
This is the 1-year-old.
How old is she now?
She turned 1 in November.
Oh my god, is she walking already?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Wow.
The first one walked at about 10 months. She was about 11 months. Yay. You say hi?
Hi.
Okay, can you say bye?
Okay.
Bye-bye? No, she usually waves when you say bye. Say bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. No? You have no idea what's going on. Mommy's taking her away now.
Nope. Okay.
Well, thank you. She is adorable.
Maybe they sense I'm not a children person or something.
No, we don't stick her in front of TV, so she's probably just like, what's going on in front with the monitors. All right, and the last thing I have on here is I guess Nintendo is looking to acquire Next Level Games, which is the people who did Luigi's Mansion 3. So I think that's a good buy, honestly. It adds another developer to their portfolio to help them work on games.
Yeah.
And we know they do good work, or at least I enjoyed Luigi's Mansion 3.
Luigi's Mansion's a wonderful game. I personally never played it. I played the giant arcade machine that you go out, and I think it's a really fun game, especially with like the whole actual device. But I've seen people play it. It looks so fun. Not my cup of tea, unfortunately, but yeah, give infinite head pats.
Good baby. But that is all I had for gaming news. Is there anything that's happened recently that you wanted to bring up?
Oh, you cut off, actually. Hold on. Is it my end?
Hello.
Oh, you're good. Hello.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I was just saying, so that's all I had for gaming news. Is there anything that's happened recently that you wanted to bring up?
Actually, a gaming professor. If you had any original NES game you hope to get remade from, what would it be? Ooh.
Remade for the Switch, specifically? NES. I'm trying to think.
I'm trying to think of NES versus SNES. I always... oh man. No, see, I had to look it up just in case. I would be interested in playing Earthbound. I would love a remake of that. But I think that's a SNES.
Yeah.
Oh, there are too many damn games. Hold on, let me see if my little box back here is SNES or NES.
It's hard for me. I enjoyed a lot of NES games, but I don't know if any of them would be like great remade.
Yeah, that's where it's like, is it going to be good?
Maybe if they did like the original Legend of Zelda in the style of like the Link to the Past and stuff, because I've had a hard time getting into the original. But I think with the visual upgrades and things that they can do now, I might actually be able to play it.
I'm actually trying to. I'll get a remake of Tetris. I'm kidding. I'm just kidding on that. Oh man, you know what? Duck Hunt. Duck Hunt would be great. But I know they had it for Wii, but that was terrible.
Yeah. And they did the Mike Tyson's Punch Out on the Wii as well, which would have been one for me.
I remember that. Yeah. Ooh, you know what? Some Dragon Quest remake games would
Final
be
Fantasy
great.
1 remake would be good, depending on how they did it. Like, if they did just this... I think they have done, like, a re-release with updated graphics, but, like, we're talking, like, 8-bit to, like, 32-bit or something. But if they did, like, maybe a full remake like they would with Final Fantasy 7, that could be pretty cool.
You see the Goonies in anticipation, but I don't know if you guys ever played those. I have not.
I played Goonies 2, and I do remember that game. That was hard AF. That game was not easy. Much like the Ninja Turtles games were back on the NES, but that'd be interesting. I don't think that'll ever happen. Nobody Nobody's gonna remake a Goonies 2 on, on a PS5 or anything.
I don't know, maybe. One maybe. Might be the dream. I mean, we didn't think we were gonna see a new Castlevania or a remake, yet we did.
The Turtle games were easy, maybe for you. And I'm not talking about the fighting ones, the Street Fighter, or not Street Fighter, the Streets of Rage type. I'm talking about the old school. There was a 2D side scroller where you fought enemies, and you had to go underwater, and there was bombs and stuff. Like, it might be easy for me nowadays, but as a kid, that was not easy.
Super Mario Bros. 3, Zelda. I'm all looking at like the top games. Mega Man 2. I don't know if they actually came out with a remake of 2. Metroid.
Metroid in the style, in the maybe in the style of Super Metroid.
They did rumor a Metroid. That was actually one of the newest leaks.
Well,
Metroid.
there's a Metroid confirmed.
Oh wait, what was it? I don't know. I just saw in the news something about Metroid. Teases new information.
Oh, new information. Okay, because it's been in development. Then they had to change developers, I think, and restart the game. So we probably won't see that game till at least next year.
You know what, Gaming Professor? Neither have I. I only played it briefly, but I didn't know what was going on. So I don't blame you. You know what? I would love to see more Fire Emblem remakes.
I believe it or not, as much as it should be my cup of tea, I've never played a Fire Emblem game.
Why is that?
I don't know. It's the style is different from, like, say, Final Fantasy Tactics to an extent. Maybe it's the story aspects part, because especially like in the newer ones, there's a lot of you do have a lot of the story stuff. Or if it's just the combat, where Tactics, I just go bam, 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 and you go straight from battle to battle, basically. But it seems like a series I should like, and I have like Path of Radiance for GameCube. I have a couple of them. I just never played them.
Understandable. It definitely has a different feel to it. I agree with that.
And as far as Metroid goes, I've played the Metroid Prime games, but I never played any of the 2D side scroll. Oh no, I played one of them, Metroid Zero or something, but that was it. But well, with that, I think it's time for the wrap up. Thank you everybody for joining me today. I'm going to put this one last time in chat. If you want to do if you're here live on Twitch, !raffle in the chat, and you can possibly win a gift sub to Olly's channel. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you for watching. Definitely go check out Olly. All of her links and stuff will be in the description below. Any parting words, Olly?
Actually, hold on. What is the first thing you would grab to eat? If there's milk tea in there, it would be milk tea. Otherwise, yeah, it would just be milk tea if there isn't. Or brisk. I would grab brisk tea. But, parting words, not really. And it's actually, no, a few. Like, thank you guys for hanging out. I appreciate it.
Just do it.
Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. Pretty much, I hope you guys stay safe. Wear a mask. Be good to one another. Stay healthy. No, you're not asking weird questions. Absolutely not. I do not find that weird at all. I've seen weird questions. I've seen weird shit. That was not a weird question. You're good. Just be good to one another. Stay safe. That's all I say. And thank you, Tidus, for having me. I had fun. I had fun, man.
Me too. Thank you so much for joining me. And for everybody else who's here, we're going to switch to the ending stream. It'll be there for a couple seconds, then we'll be right back to do the raffle and all that fun stuff. So we'll be right back, everybody. And thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.